I love this film. It has such a quirkiness about it that makes it really memorable for me. And maybe that's because I grew up watching Evil Dead movies and it has kind of the same feel to it. I don't know. I think I just really enjoy goofy horror movies. Drag Me to Hell was directed by the legendary Sam Raimi. It stars cute as hell Alison Lohman and funny man Justin Long, as well as a few other great actors and actresses. There's one thing this movie should teach you: it's never steal from a gypsy. The film starts off with a family who brings their son to an exorcist named Shauna Sandina. They tell Shauna that he's been hearing voices and seeing weird shit for the past 3 days because he stole a necklace from a gypsy wagon. They try to give the necklace back, but the gypsy wouldn't accept it. So Shauna takes a look at the necklace, like, what the fuck is this? Obviously she knows something weird's going on. So she tells him to bring the kid inside. Once they're in there, you see from his perspective all the weird shit that's going on, all the weird demons and all the voices and stuff. And all of a sudden, the demon breaks the fucking door and he kicks some ass. Once that's all done, he gets thrown off a balcony and the beginning of the movie starts. It's actually really cool. I love the way it opens.
Nos vamos a encontrar nuevamente. Así.
We then meet Christine Brown, a bashful loan officer who wants to climb the corporate ladder. She seems to doubt herself and even listens to self-help CDs in her car and on her way to work and all that. In order to climb the corporate ladder, however, she needs to best her coworker Stu, who is a dick. He will literally do anything in his power to screw over whoever he can just to get ahead. He's the typical yes man, and he always wants to get the job done before anybody else. And they actually have a fun little subplot throughout the whole movie between those two. It's really funny.
Christine, you messed up my order.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I said no mayo.
Her boyfriend Clay is a nerdy coin-collecting professor who actually comes off as a pretty normal guy despite his background. The relationship between him and Christine is actually pretty normal. They've only been dating for under a year, and you can actually kind of see, how their relationship is going. Christine gets up and leaves after they have a little discussion, and Justin Long's mom gives him a call on the phone. She talks to him about how she wants to see him better his life and how she has this girl picked out for him. Obviously, that makes Christine pretty upset, and you can see that on screen. So it kind of sets up the whole, Christine getting dumped on type thing. And she really does get dumped on in this movie, and she really wants her talents to shine through. She finally gets her chance when she meets an elderly woman named Sylvia Ganoush. She needs another extension on her loan and asks Christine if she can help her out in any way possible. So what Christine does is she goes and asks her boss if she can get her another extension for Sylvia. Her boss, being the typical manager, is like, obviously denies her. He's like, oh, we've already given her 2 loans, we cannot give her another. So he sets it up so where Christine has to make a managerial decision about this. So he's like, Christine, you have to be the boss now, make a decision. So she thought this could be her time to shine and really show her talents.
I'll take care of it.
So she goes out to Sylvia, who's obviously really nervous and wants to get her loan passed because she wants to keep her house. Christine sits down and tells her the bad news. Obviously she's not very happy and flips the fuck out, causes a big ruckus, and gets escorted out by cops. Her boss comes up to her after the whole altercation and actually commends her on her decision. And things are actually looking pretty good for Christine at this point.
And as far as that assistant manager's position goes, you're at the top of the list.
Later that night, when Christine gets out of work, she heads out to her sweet Ford Focus and notices this banana yellow Olds 88, which Sylvia was escorted to earlier in the day. And if you're a fan of Sam Raimi's work, you will recognize this car being in all of his films. But anyway, she gets in her car and notices that Sylvia's in the back seat. And this is when a really hilarious battle ensues. During this fight, Sylvia gets a hold of one of Christine's buttons from her sweater and whispers this gypsy curse into it. These two have hilarious battles throughout the entire film, and after she whispers that little word into the button, it pretty much goes downhill for Christine at that point. The rest of the film is pretty much a race against time. Christine and her boyfriend are actually walking home after the altercation in the garage, and she stops in front of the psychic place, who is run by this hilarious dude named Ram Dass. They go inside, and he attempts to read her palm. In doing so, he can sense that there's definitely something weird going on. And he feels it's out of his realm, so what he does is actually enlist the help of an old friend you may remember from earlier in the film.
Christine, if you will permit me the pleasure of an introduction, Sean Sundina.
It has such a Evil Dead 2 / Army of Darkness feel that any fan of those films would really like this. And I could definitely see where people who may not be a fan of those two movies or may not be familiar with Sam Raimi's work may be put off by the strange sense of horror and the goofy fight scenes and all that.
Here, kitty kitty.
Given the recent decline in horror movies, this should have shined out like a beacon of light in the otherwise dark and drab movie scene. If you haven't seen this movie, you should definitely give it a watch, because I have a feeling you won't be disappointed.